This is my audience for the persuasive speech. Okay. How would you feel if you were so ill and you couldn't get to use the only thing that will make you feel better? Probably defeated. That's what some people feel about marijuana. The purpose of my speech is to try and convince you as to why marijuana should be legalized. Some reasons that I will talk about will be for medicinal use, the cost, and for liberty. One of the big issues as to why marijuana should be legalized is for medicinal purposes. Marijuana has been around for centuries and was constantly being used for medicine. It has been shown that it can treat anorexia, AIDS, cancer, glaucoma, nausea, and pain. On the other hand, some physicians seem to be against it because they think that marijuana's legislative use as a prescription drug circumvents standard drug safety protocols, and it is not the standard of care. My rebuttal for that opposition would be like all other forms of medicine. It will have some setbacks, but it has been seen in studies that marijuana is less toxic than most pharmaceutical drugs. Second, I will be talking about the cost. If the government were to legalize marijuana, they would in turn be making a lot of money out of it. On the other hand, some government legislators believe that the best economic policy for dealing marijuana is to discourage use by enforcement and education rather than legalization and taxation. I believe that won't work because if we look back at history, at the prohibition of alcohol, it didn't work and actually had more criminal activities rise out of that. So why would we repeat the same mistake? Lastly, I'll talk about liberty. It is not worthwhile for a law to forbid people from willingly exposing their own bodies to harm or using drugs any more than by overeating or bungee jumping. On the other hand, some legislators feel that it should not be legalized because it would lead to new people wanting to try out the drug instead of just keeping the regular users. I feel that as Americans, we should be able to use what we want because our country was built on liberty and freedom. So to repeat my points, I talked about liberty, talked about the costs, and I talked about for medicinal uses. And I'm going to leave you guys with a quote from Bob Marley, and it says, "Herb is the healing of a nation. Alcohol is the destruction."